The 1993 NBA Finals was supposed to be Charles Barkley's moment. The Phoenix Suns had the best record in the league, Barkley was the reigning MVP, and for the first time in his career he had a real shot at winning an NBA championship. But we all know how that story ended. The Chicago Bulls, led by Michael Jordan, walked away with their third straight title, cementing themselves as the NBA's next great dynasty. But not everyone was convinced that they were actually the better team. Danny Ainge, a key player on that Suns squad, made a statement after the finals that still sparks debate today. He said, and I quote, "I don't believe the best team won." Think about that for a second. When Ainge lost to the Bulls the previous year as a member of the Trailblazers, he admitted that Chicago was the best team, but this time he wasn't so sure. Was he right? Did the Suns actually blow their best chance at winning a title? And if they had won, how would we look back on NBA history differently? We're breaking it all down together, so let's dive in.
MJ pushes it the other way.
Here comes Jordan all the way to the basket, leads it up and in.
I believe it is our destiny to win the world championship.
I mean, he's got a different destiny than what we see it.
I feel that we should have won Game 6, and I believe we would have won Game 7.
Going into the 1993 NBA Finals, the Chicago Bulls were the back-to-back champions, led by Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. They were a battle-tested squad that already had taken down the Lakers in '91 and the Trailblazers in '92. The Suns, on the other hand, were a team on the rise. They had the best record in the NBA that season, led by Charles Barkley, who was named the league's MVP. With a dynamic supporting cast of Kevin Johnson, Dan Majerle, and Danny Ainge, this was supposed to be their moment. Barkley himself was brimming with confidence, even declaring before the series that it was destiny for the Suns to win.
I believe it is our destiny to win the world championship. I have believed that for the last year, and I believe in my heart that we're going to win the world championship, and I told you that. I don't care about being down 3-1. God wants us to win the world championship.
I don't know if I go that far, Charles.
Oh, no, I talked to him the other night.
But as we all know, destiny isn't enough when you're up against Michael Jordan.
Michael, Charles earlier said that he believes in his heart that the Suns are a team of destiny, and that he told you that.
He's been telling me that crap ever since he's been here.
What's your response?
I mean, he's got a different destiny than what we see it. You know, we're destined to win as much as he's destined to win, and right now we got the one game up. We're here to say that his destiny is to have a long summer thinking about what he should have or would have done.
The Suns had home court advantage, but they immediately found themselves in trouble, losing the first two games in Phoenix. The Bulls, despite being the underdogs on paper, came in prepared, composed, and ruthless. Jordan was simply unstoppable, averaging a staggering 41 points per game throughout the series. Paxson's three-pointer was perfect. It swished through the net, giving the Bulls a 99-98 lead. The Suns had completely broken down defensively, allowing one of the easiest game-winning plays in NBA history. Danny Ainge was livid. He couldn't believe how the Suns allowed dribble penetration on back-to-back possessions, something they had talked about preventing all season long. He knew that they had let a golden opportunity slip through their fingers. After the game, Ainge made his now infamous comment.
Last year we lost to Chicago, and I felt they were better. There was no question they were the best team. And you tip your hats to them and say, great year. And this year, I don't feel that way. I feel that we should have won Game 6, and I believe we would have won Game 7. So that's a little bit tougher to swallow when you lose, when you think you're just as good or better.
Was he just emotional, or did he actually have a point? On paper, the Suns had more depth, a better record, and the league MVP. They won 62 games compared to the Bulls' 57. They had multiple players who could create their own shot, and their offense was dynamic. But the Bulls had something that couldn't be measured in stats, and that was championship experience. They had been in these moments before. They knew how to close games. Barkley admitted after the loss how painful it was sitting in his locker room stunned. He knew they could have won. The Suns were good enough, but were they actually ready? This loss was devastating for him. He would never get this close to a title again. The Suns continued to be competitive in the years that followed, but they never broke through the Western Conference again. Barkley eventually joined the Houston Rockets in search of a championship, but by then he was well past his prime and the ring never came. And this is where things get really interesting. What if Barkley had won in 1993? What if he had taken down Michael Jordan and the famous Chicago Bulls? Well, first, Barkley's legacy would be entirely different. Instead of being the face of the greatest player to never win a ring conversation, he'd be remembered as an all-time great winner. An MVP who took down MJ at his peak. His name would be mentioned in the same breath as Hakeem, Duncan, and Dirk, players who won as their team's clear-cut best player in the front court. And what about Jordan? If he loses in 1993, does he still retire in 93? Does he come back hungrier in 94? Does his mystique take a hit? And is his legacy really the same when he's lost in the finals? It's not crazy to think that one game, one shot, one moment could have changed NBA history forever, and we see this every single year. At the end of the day, Danny Ainge's frustration was understandable. The Suns had the talent, they had the pieces, but when it mattered most, they really weren't ready. The moment was simply too big for them. The Bulls, well, they had been there before, they had seen it all. They didn't panic, they just executed. And that's why they went on to complete the first three-peat of the 90s. So do you guys agree with Ainge? Did the Suns actually let a championship slip away? Or was this always going to be Jordan and the Bulls moment? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into NBA history, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content like this. My name is Damian Peters, this is Basketball Network. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.